right, Mr. Navigator, Don Hanna, what's your view on this?
You mentioned that you don't have any competition, and that surprises me. It seems to me with all of these brilliant young people coming along that are so computer literate and have all sorts of things going on and the explosion of IT, that there's no competition. Tell me about that.
There is competition. It's email, spreadsheets, ticketing systems, and we also have a close competitor that's trying to do what we're doing, but we're such a fast, agile company building technology rather quickly that it's often difficult to know what we're going to come out with next. We lived in stealth mode for over a year, and when we showed up, our product was light years ahead of the rest. And that's kind of our motto of the competitive, secretive nature of security, but at the same time, understanding that we're competing with your traditional day of communication and coordination. Currently, I mean, how would you coordinate a team right now in your market? You would send an email. You'd copy a few people on it. You'd give an instruction out. But then what happens after that? How do you know who's doing what? How do you understand situationally how the team has responded or acted on that instruction? You know, it's like running a football team. Could you imagine trying to run a football play through email when you don't know when each player is receiving their email? The quarterback is throwing the football, and the wide receiver hasn't even left the scrimmage line. You know, the blockers don't even know the ball was hiked. And so now you have a very chaotic environment right from the start. And that's really what traditional companies are relying on right now. And that's why every breach is over a $6 million price tag, no matter how big it is, because that's how expensive it is to deal with the chaos. And that's what we're aimed to go. Our goal in life, it really is to solve chaos. And make it
and
structured.
So you're focused on the businesses, and what about the consumer end? Is there any plans? Do you have anything for the consumer myself? I mean, you know, what do you?
So what we do for the consumer is we partner with companies like LifeLock here in town, other identity theft leaders out there, and also awareness. There's companies like LastPass, a free password management tool that you can use to help encrypt all your passwords. There's free email encryption services out there that we've partnered with, a company called Virtru. These companies are very agile young companies, but at the same time offer free services to the consumer to protect all their passwords and potential compromises.
Excellent. All right, Kevin, what's our challenge question?
Deployment. Where are you guys at with deployment? With whom? If you can discuss that. I know some of the stuff is confidential, but can you talk about where you're at and who you're dealing with?
So we have a couple big deployment opportunities right now that we're engaged with large manufacturers, airlines, very large financial institutions, a couple universities that are actually working with us right now. And we're also an on-premise solution or a secure cloud solution. So we do either. Some organizations need it inside their network, and some organizations are okay with it being in the secure cloud with Firehose. I would say that by the end of the year, we'll have probably a couple dozen customers, and then after that, it's a hockey stick, you know, race to the moon.
Unbelievable.
Awesome.
Well, Don, I mean, you know, you've had so much experience. You've seen everything going on, and the whole internet boom and coming, and that. I mean, what other questions?
Hey, I'm a 50s trip, you know. I come from a long time ago. But I'm actually, I live on internet. I mean, I couldn't live without it.
Great.
Let me ask you, my wife is a hospice nurse, and of course she's subject to the HIPAA rules about everything. It seems to me your services would be exactly what they would need to further secure what they're doing right now. Am I right on that?
Absolutely. With 2015 and the requirement for digitalization of healthcare records, every hospital is going to need a security operations team in order to protect all of that data that they're now digitalizing. And that is dangerous. To think about how many hospitals, how much manpower is out there to go around for every hospital in America. There's not a lot. They're going to have to create efficiencies with our technology.
How do you find the staff for your company to even, you know, to build what you've got going on? I mean, as far as it just seems such a race in that. How not what the secret sauce is, but how do you stay ahead each time with each of the breaches? Because you mentioned that you don't know until it happens. How do you? How do you stay ahead of it?
It's a very, very tight margin of ever getting really ahead. I think in the way that the economy is and the way that the security industry is every professional is going to tell you they're always going to be behind the 8 ball. It's just where your place lives. They're always going to be high pressure. In regards to the staffing, I think working with ASU and other universities and building a curriculum in order to create a little bit more of a bandwidth and a manufacturing facility of analysts and cyber professionals, I think is another big win that I'm working with.
So we need it more taught in the schools, that aspect of it.
have to have some degree-focused universities on cyber. ASU's, I'm talking with them about that, as well as University of Delaware just stood up the first cyber college.
Really?
It's going to be an explosive market.
Unbelievable.